Jim, before we get into our topic, one last piece of little current business I want to ask you about.
Okay.
Over the weekend, WWE brought back Saturday night's main event. And according to what I've seen from Jimmy Traina over at SI, it looks like, it was a $2.3 million or 2.3 million viewer affair between NBC and Peacock. And they actually beat the basketball game for the main event, which was Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. But also in that main event, Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Talk about the nostalgia lever. We've got the old school look and feel. We've got the themes, and everything just feels sort of retro. Even the world title that Cody wore to the ring that night. But maybe the biggest difference for me, even more than the belt, which was cool. I'll admit it was cool to see back. Jesse Ventura on commentary, like his voice is synonymous with my childhood, much like yours or Tony Schiavone's. And I don't know, I was excited to hear Jesse back. Did you get a chance to see it? And what do you think about Jesse coming back to WWE? Did you ever think that would be possible in all your time there?
That was a football night for me, so that's what I was watching. I kind of basically, to be honest with you, I'd forgotten about it. But I did catch up on all the highlights because, they're everywhere after the event. It was good. It was a good touch. And his voice is synonymous with Saturday night's main event. I think I got to call 2 or 3 of those, not many, over my career. One of the things they brought me back for after on one of my hiatuses was Saturday night's main event. They wanted somebody that was a SmackDown guy or a Raw guy. That would be me. And so they brought me back and apparently liked my work to the point that I got brought back again. So, but Jesse is really the true voice of Saturday night's main event in that role. And I'm sure he did a good job. I didn't hear anything negative about it. I got questions about his partner, Joe Testator, who does a lot of football for ESPN. He's built himself a nice business, hasn't he?
Oh, no doubt.
He's making some serious money. Got to be making some big money with ESPN and WWE. 2 great clients to have if you're an announcer. And he does a nice job. He does a better job than I thought he ever would this early, to be honest with you. So they made a good hire. They made a good hire there. I didn't know he was a wrestling fan. You can't be as successful as he's been and as informative, timely, etc., without being a fan. He has some product knowledge. I have great respect for that. So looks like they're building their announcer base because somebody's not available. I won't mention who, but it's a real good, it's a good fit for them. Joe does a nice job, and I'm proud that he's representing our trade as well as he is.
We get to be a part of our community, Jim.
Yeah.
And we're getting together in January. I guess it's the very end of January, just in time for the Royal Rumble. But it's scheduled to be in Huntsville this year, Jim. So the way this will work is all of our supporters and family members over at adfreeshows.com, they get to go to a double taping of Dynamite and Rampage. We got some fun off-site comedic activities lined up on Thursday. But on Friday, Jim, we're going to come up with Top Guy Tussle in a wrestling fantasy camp. Jerry Lynn is going to work with you and let you step between the ropes and run the ropes and take a bump and see what it's really like. It's fantasy camp for wrestling. And as if that wasn't enough, then we're going to book the card. Do you want to be a manager on a show? Do you want to be a ring announcer on a show? Do you want to do commentary on a show? What are you looking to do, and how do you want to participate? And more importantly, you're the booker. Who's wrestling who? It's all a part of Top Guy Rumble. It's happening at the very end of January, early February. Adfreeshows.com is your hookup. Jim, you and I have done a lot of fun stuff through the years, but the idea of booking a wrestling show with fans, that's a new one. Not a lot of folks are doing that. That's pretty cool.
Now, you're talking about an event for the fans and not the actual pay-per-view, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. Because I didn't think Tony Khan would give up his pencil for this matter, but and he's not. He didn't have to because we got something else.
That's right.
Being added on to the entire magnanimous weekend. So that should be fun, man. If you're a fan and you've always wondered, always wanted God dang, this is a place to go. This is it. You notice my eye is not opening good today. The shit's getting old. I'm so mad about it. I could eat cornbread dressing.
Well, it's going to be here before you know it. Hey, speaking of getting old, I don't know if you saw this, but as you and I are recording right now, today is Stone Cold Steve Austin's 60th birthday. How about that?
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
6-0 for the big Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Best there ever was, and his
No
numbers
doubt.
prove it. You can say, well, so and so is a better wrestler. This guy was a better technical wrestler, whatever the hell that means. The bottom line of a success for a wrestler is what did they do to the bottom line? And Stone Cold impacted the bottom line enough for a company to go public. That's significant. That's better than drawing a big house in New Orleans on Thursday night and going to Lafayette on Saturday or Friday. It's amazing. So I'm biased, which I fully admit, but he was the best I've ever been around as far as drawing money, adding to the bottom line. Some of those checks I wrote him, or he received, I didn't write them, but were just amazing. He was, and the house show business, as we called it back then, now live events, nobody could touch him because he wanted to make all the towns, no matter if it was El Paso in a small building or Houston at the Coliseum. He wanted to be on every card. And he demanded that I book him in singles. Every now and then Vince would say, well, we need to take care of Steve. Put him in a tag this weekend on this next run. And I would say, Vince, he doesn't want to be in tags. It makes him angry to be booked in tags. So unless you order me to do it, then when we get to the arena, he's going to not want to work because he's a singles guy. He's worked all his life to be a singles main event star. And that's the only thing that's going to make him happy. And so Vince would always relent because anybody that can remember Stone Cold in a house show tag team match, raise your hand. There weren't many of them. So good for him. I love him. He's a good guy. He's one of the first guys to call me when Chan got in her accident. She's done his laundry. We've cooked for him. We just had great times together. We had a kinship. We still do. So, and some people have criticized that, which I find to be absolutely ridiculous, quite frankly. Sometimes you make friends, Conrad. You got friends in a wrestling business that you do business with, but they're friends. They're bottom line, they're friends, right?
Absolutely.
I know you and Jeff Jarrett have a close bond. Some people are talking about that, by the way. But nonetheless,
normally I get that with Bruce, or I get that with Cody, or I get that with Shivani. But now you're throwing Jeff Jarrett on me. Okay. I see how it is.
Yeah, that's how it is.